Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Keisha, and I would like to thank all of you for coming today. It is our great pleasure to welcome all of you to the launching of Artificial Intelligence R&D Center in Indonesia. And not only that, but today's launching event will also be followed with a roundtable discussion on the issues of AI for smart cities and AI for agriculture. Now, with great honor, I would like to invite Dr. Benis Pardamen to come forward and begin our first session with a welcoming speech.
Selamat pagi, good morning, and welcome to our vibrant urban campus here at Bina Nusantara University at the Anggrek campus. And first, I would like to thank Bapak Insinyur Gunawan, our CEO Bina Nusantara. Thank you for your support and attending this event. And also welcome to our partners, Mr. Raymond Tech. He's in the way, coming on the way toward this event. And NVIDIA Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Asia Pacific region. And also welcome to Ibu Sani Hadinata, who happened to be, just mentioned to me that she's also a BINUS alumni. And she's the current country general manager Tech Data Advanced Solution for Indonesia. And to Bapak Hengki Kastono, country manager director HP Enterprise Indonesia. And to Mr. Joseph Lee, vice president Kinetica Asia Pacific region. And also welcome to Mr. Mehdi Fitranto and Faris Rahman, co-founder of Noteflux. And as you can see in the back, there is a demo of their products. And also welcome to all Binusian leaders, our vice rectors, deans, and heads of program. And also I'd like to welcome our distinguished guests from IAARD or Lidbak TAN, and also from our member university of Nationwide University Network Indonesia, NUMI. They're all here with us this morning. And as today, we are celebrating the launching of Research Center named Artificial Intelligence Research and Development Center, or short name AI R&D Center, as part of our expanding collaboration between BINUS University and NVIDIA. And also now joined by Tech Data Advanced Solution and HP. Why NVIDIA AI Center at BINUS? That's the questions. And this is as a result of our expanding collaboration with NVIDIA. We starting in 2015. NVIDIA appointed BINUS as the first and only GPU Education Center in Indonesia. In the IT Research Methodology course, in the Master of Information Technology program, we implement some of the curriculum, and also Artificial Intelligence course for Computer Science International program. And in 2015 and 2016, Bioinformatics and Data Science Research Center has accepted grant awards in terms of 4 GPUs units and teaching kids. And as I say, NVIDIA is an AI computing company. So we partner with them in our RISE research, funding by FAO, and also smokescreen and colorectal cancer, part of our NIH collaboration. We use the NVIDIA technology in solving our big data challenge through the GPU deployment as HPC, high performance computing. And also, along with that, we published a paper that has been presented in the International Conference on Computer and Communication in Chengdu, China, has been indexed by IEEE Explorer and Scopus. It has been cited many times since. So we're quite successful in this venture. And then the workshop and seminar in collaboration with NVIDIA for preparing joint research proposal in the 3rd of November 2016, attended by 50 NUNI faculty and researchers. The result is the establishment of HPC consortium by 12 universities. And finally, NVIDIA, with their DLI, Deep Learning Institute workshop, has trained 20 BINUS faculty on the 22nd of April 2017. The facility infrastructure of AI R&D Center serve multifunction and multi-purpose activities. We can use it as a lab, training center, meeting place, researcher working place, innovation center, and collaboration center, and even more. You're welcome to visit the center in the 2nd floor next to the BINUS Karya. The center is equipped by 4 state-of-the-art servers. 2 servers are provided by BINUS University and has the NVIDIA GPU Tesla Kepler. And 2 servers donated by Tech Data consist of HP DL360 Gen 9 equipped with NVIDIA GPU Tesla Pascal 40. And the other server is DL380 Gen 9, also equipped with the NVIDIA GPU Tesla Pascal 100. And also we have 3 workstations, each equipped with NVIDIA GeForce GTX Titan. And as you can see in the center later, some product has been installed and demoed, namely from Kinetica, Xgera Lab, and Gluck. Now the question is, why AI? Why AI? We all learn in our AI class that AI, artificial intelligence, is the use of computer to simulate human intelligence. That's the definition. But this year, AI has gotten special attention since Bill Gates declared the AI, bioscience, and energy are the best job to make an impact. And in our research center, Bioinformatics and Data Science Research Center, we use HPC to answer our big data problem in the computational science and data science. But AI extends the HPC to let us analyze massive amount of data faster and more efficiently. And certainly, the AI has evolved, becoming the GPU deep learning, and so many other possibilities can be done in the side of AI. And the scope of AI as a machine increasingly capable, the capability generally classified as AI, including human speech, competing in high-level strategic game, autonomous car, intelligent routing, and delivery network in the interpreting complex data. So I just mentioning that because many in the audience is from our researchers in the diverse background. So I don't want to focus this AI just only for our technology program study, the IT program study, but also can involve other program study. And in the statistical method, computational intelligence, traditional symbolic AI, many tools use AI, including for search and mathematical optimization, logic, method-based, probability, and economics. And the AI field draws open the computer science, mathematics, psychology, linguistics, philosophy, neuroscience, and so on and so on. So I'm hoping this center is not just for the IT researcher, but also outside the IT researcher itself. Now, recent advancement in AI, especially in the machine learning, have contributed to the growth of autonomous things. Not just Internet of Things, but autonomous of things, such as drones and self-driving cars. becoming the main driver innovation in the automotive industry. Mercedes-Benz and NVIDIA announced partnership for AI car technology at 2017 International Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. And Audi and other car makers also follow suit. So very soon, whatever car you're driving will have some kind of autonomous technology embedded in that. So AI is here for sure, and therefore, the center is dedicated and open to the following stakeholders: faculty member and researcher, both from BINUS and University Network. That's very important because the center will be open not just for BINUS students, but also our network university outside BINUS. And also students from both BINUS and UNI, and industry, startup, government institution, and research institution. Now, what is next? What is next is the research collaboration agreement that we have been discussing with Kinetica USA, and VP of Kinetica, Joseph Lee, happened to be here, and we have been planning the next collaboration, and also joint collaboration with Apple BINUS Innovation Center at Alam Sutra. There's another discussion we have with Pak Bernard and Pak Gintoro. So this is we'll be expanding more in the collaboration. Now, as a closing statement, I personally would like to sincerely thank our staff at BINUS and individual and our partner NVIDIA and Tech Data, who tirelessly have made this preparation of the launching ceremony successful. Without you all, we wouldn't be here to celebrate the launching of this one-of-the-kind AI center. My great expectation, our great expectation, this launching ceremony is only the first step or the first milestone of AI R&D Center. The launch of this center, the one is tangible forms of the BINUS University vision in fostering and empowering our students and faculty as well as community in building and serving the nation. Through the center, we are contributing our part to educate, enrich, and empower our society. The center invites all students, faculties, researchers, community to actively participate in the AI research and to challenge you all to be creative and innovative, especially in the AI area. The success and longevity of the center is in our hands. Let's get work. Thank you. And this is a little announcement before I close. And as the first activity for the center, there will be a DL workshop in collaboration with the NVIDIA DL Institute. Tomorrow, 29th of August, starting at 8:30 to 5 p.m., there's a workshop will be take place in the room 79. Instructor is Arif Budiarto, assisted by Wawan Cenggono from our research center, and the NVIDIA observer is Nicholas Walker. And seats are still available. Please register and ask Sinta at the registration desk. Thank you.
Once again, let's put our hands together for Professor Banks for his welcome speech. Selamat pagi, morning. My name is Dennis Ang from NVIDIA. And I have the responsibility for the NVIDIA Enterprise Business for Southeast Asia. And today I'm super excited to be here to witness, as Pak Banks mentioned, one of its kind, the first AI R&D center with the university in not only in Indonesia but in Southeast Asia. So let's put our hands together for that. So distinguished guests, partners, and friends and colleagues from BINUS University, today is an exciting day, and I would like to share with you the agenda, right, so that we are aware what's going to be happening during this exciting day. So first of all, we're going to be bringing up Mr. Joseph Lee, one of our key ISV partner from Kinetica. Mr. Joe Lee is actually based in Singapore, and he's starting office very soon in Indonesia to support the Indonesian efforts. So we're going to be hearing from him what he's will be bringing, his solution, which is very exciting because his solution is a new range of data analytics which can accelerate very quickly on GPUs. So we're going to be hearing that from Joseph. Following the presentation and speech by Mr. Joseph Lee, we are very pleased to have Bu Sunny from Tech Data. So Tech Data is a very important organization in the whole ecosystem of NVIDIA, not only in Indonesia, but also in Southeast Asia and also in Australia, New Zealand, where they are our sole distributor for for NVIDIA. So we're going to be very excited to hear from Bu Sunny, to hear from her on how she's going to take the growth and the opportunities of AI, working together with Business University to grow the ecosystem and the opportunities here in Indonesia. Following that, we are very privileged to have Pak Henki. Right, so Pak Henki is the country manager for Hewlett Packard Enterprise, and they have been very instrumental in helping us with the launch, with the provision of servers, which is very critical to run the applications that you'll be seeing today. So we'll be hearing from Pak Henki and some of the very exciting server lineup that HP Enterprise is going to be coming up with. And then, of course, we will have Raymond. So Raymond is my manager, and he's also the regional VP for Sales and Marketing for Asia Pac. We're very pleased to have Raymond to be here. And just so you know, Raymond and I, we just came back from Santa Clara over the last week, and we just landed respectively in Singapore and Hong Kong. And Raymond has to brave a Typhoon 8 yesterday in Hong Kong to come all the way here. And he arrived actually at 5 a.m. this morning. So thank you so much, Raymond. And very good to have your presence. And then finally, we're going to have Pak Bernard, who is the CEO of Business University, and of course a strong partner with all of us in driving the AI initiative, not only for Jakarta, over time for Indonesia. Right? So we're going to be hearing from Pak Bernard. After which we're going to have a ribbon cutting. So that's going to be an exciting part where we will invite Pak Bernard and also the representative Raymond, Bu Sunny and Pak Henki to join him on stage to do the ribbon cutting and officiate the opening of this wonderful AI R&D center. And of course, for such an important event, we have not forgotten the press. So we have, with the help of my colleague and the business PR, we have lined up the key press to come here to witness this very exciting event and be able to report the event out to the wider market. And then, of course, we're going to be inviting all of you for a luncheon, right? So we promise a very good luncheon, which will be from 12 to 1:30, right? And after which, there will be in the afternoon, so that's not all, right? So after the luncheon, we're going to be inviting some of you, and also there are also people not here, but will be attending from 1:30 to 5 p.m. a symposium. So I reckon that this will be the first AI symposium in Jakarta, and we're going to have speakers, Donald Chen, my colleague from NVIDIA, who's here, who's going to talk about AI in Metropolis, and of course we have Mark Benz, who's going to emphasize on AI in agriculture, a favorite topic of his. And of course, then as mentioned, we're going to have a very good roundtable discussion whereby we're going to get some of the best brains to talk about and discuss what is the implication of AI, right? After you hear from all the speakers, it's going to be a very good round-up discussion to end the day, right? And after which we will have some closing remarks and end this wonderful day. So with that, I want to invite Mr. Joseph Lee, the VP, Regional VP for Kinetica, to come on stage and share his thoughts around this event. Joe? Thank you.
Selamat pagi, big semangat Business University. I'll start. Nama saya Bapak Yusuf. That is a mistake. My name is not Joseph, it's Bapak Yusuf. I want to thank you guys. Terima kasih banyak for allowing Kinetica to participate with Binance University. I want to thank NVIDIA, our key partner, Tech Data, HP, Dr. Benz, everybody for the opportunity. So I can't really see that very well, but I'll talk through a few of the slides that we have here about Kinetica today. So, is it showing okay up there now? Do we have? Too bright? Okay. Well, I'll start with an overview. It's really good to understand where Kinetica fits in the big picture. So Kinetica was originally developed out of the US government. The product was built in the NSA, and it was used for deep tracking. After it was built as an enterprise product, we spun the product out, and the product became a commercial entity. Now, why is that important? It's important because if you think about what's happening right now, when the US government went to look at this, they looked at all the different databases, the data warehouses that they could use, and they looked at all the different types of processing power they can use. They actually commissioned this based on GPU, and they patented this technology based on a GPU database. And so henceforth, Kinetica was born as the first enterprise GPU database. Okay, so we'll go to the next. I didn't get to tell you guys where I was from, by the way. Dari mana, Bandung, saya Sundanese, right? Just kidding. I've got a great sense of humor. So, the other next part that I'll talk a little bit about is really where we fit in. GPU is changing the industry. It's a major disruptor. Now it's about artificial intelligence and machine learning so much. And for universities, it's a great opportunity for students, for professors, for high computing centers, high performance computing centers to take advantage of this. We are so lucky and privileged, and we thank you for allowing us to participate in that. We'll be providing our software and our services to Binance to do some of this. The idea behind it is data is always going to be very valuable. Prior to being the vice president of Kinetica, I ran a Hadoop company for Asia. That's big data, other big data software. In Indonesia, we did really well. Lots of customers in the telco space, in financial services, and in the government want to understand their data. They want to know what the consumers are doing. So if you think about what this technology does, it provides the ability to do fast analytics on data and do machine learning on data that is at a speed that has never been done before. And the reason why is because we use GPU. So a lot of the legacy technology today uses CPU, and the problem is you will not get your analytics quick enough. So we'll keep going. Here gives you an idea of the various technologies that was reviewed from the US government when they made their decision. You can see data warehouses like Netezza, Oracle, SAP HANA, etc. Ultimately, they ended up using Kinetica. To run the query in Oracle was over 90 minutes, and to run the same query based on a GPU server with the database from Kinetica, it was around 30 milliseconds. So when you do these things, time matters, right? It's a big factor. I'll talk about maybe two clients that I think is relevant and that has gotten people excited. When people look at this space, they wonder, who's using the technology? Do you have clients? Is this enterprise ready? And the answer is yes. I did my due diligence upon joining. Walmart is one of our largest customers. Globally, they're still the largest retailer, at least brick and mortar. And they use the technology to do everything from real-time inventory analysis. They look at it for logistics, shipping, and they run it on GPUs. Now, in addition to that point, I just want to mention, they also run it next to other platforms. So this technology coexists next to Hadoop, next to data warehouse. But when you want fast analytics, you're going to get that specifically from a GPU-powered database. Okay? And you will find that this trend in the next 12, 24 months is going to be the trend in APAC, that people will be looking for the GPU-powered database. Okay, so the last one I'll speak about before we kind of wrap up, and then I let you guys let me ask questions for about 30 minutes. Just kidding. The last one I'll speak about is GlaxoSmithKline. GSK, their chief data officer in R&D, his proposition from using the technology is if they can find a way to specifically look at anomalies in medical drug interactions when they're doing their R&D processing, that's very important. Now, if you take the machine learning capability of Kinetica, and it's built in like TensorFlow. Some of you have heard some of these words now, TensorFlow and all the stuff you can do on top in the ML and the AI space. And you take the power and the speed of the GPU in Kinetica in the middle with the database, you can do some pretty amazing things. So GSK has gone on record and already done many articles. And if anybody is of interest, I'd be glad to send them that information. But in addition to the largest retailer, the US government, and then of course organizations like GSK, we're really dedicated to providing a lot of value for organizations that are doing R&D and they're just trying to do better for the world. As this goes on, you'll see a lot more of that. I plan to invest heavily in Indonesia. I've already done so, I've hired a few people, and we're going to do more. So thank you to Binance University, thank you to Dr. Benz, thank you for originally meeting Mr. Raymond Tay, appreciate it, and Dennis, Mr. Dennis, and for everybody else that I've got a chance to work with. It's been such an honor and pleasure, and we look forward to supporting Indonesia and this university to drive GPU database analytics. So thanks so much for the time. The slides can be available, by the way, for the press or for anybody that would like them. Okay? Terima kasih banyak. Semangat. Right?
Thank you, Mr. Joseph Lee. And now I would like to invite Ms. Ani Hadinata, the Country General Manager of Tech Data Advanced Solutions Indonesia, to come forward for her speech. Thank you.
Selamat pagi, saya ucapkan kepada bapak-bapak, ibu-ibu yang sudah berkenan hadir di acara kita hari ini. Perkenalkan, saya Sani Hadinata, saya adalah Country GM untuk Tech Data Indonesia. Pertama-tama saya ingin mengucapkan suatu kehormatan untuk saya untuk bisa hadir pada pagi hari ini dan memberikan ucapan pada acara pembukaan Pusat Riset Artificial Intelligence di Bina Nusantara. Tanpa terasa waktu berlalu, bahwa 25 tahun yang lalu saya berada di kampus ini sebagai salah satu mahasiswa Bina Nusantara. Dan hari ini saya merasa saya kembali lagi ke rumah saya. Saya berharap bahwa kepulangan saya hari ini ke kampus tercinta saya akan memberikan hal yang positif untuk kemajuan Bina Nusantara. Pada hari ini, saya mewakili Tech Data Indonesia berperan serta untuk terciptanya acara kita pada hari ini, dan juga untuk terobosan yang telah dilakukan oleh Bina Nusantara sebagai satu-satunya dan pertama untuk lab artificial intelligence ini. Sebagai IT solution distributor leader di dunia dan di Indonesia, kami mempercepat dan mempermudahkan Anda untuk menjangkau kesuksesan Anda melalui world leading brand kami saat ini yang menjadi sponsor acara ini, yaitu NVIDIA dan Hewlett Packard Enterprise. Saya berharap melalui Artificial Intelligence R&D Center ini, Bina Nusantara akan dapat selalu menghasilkan prestasi dan inovasi baru yang gemilang bersama NVIDIA dan Hewlett Packard Enterprise, baik di dalam topik Smart City dan Agriculture ataupun di bidang Artificial Intelligence di masa yang akan datang. Sekian dan terima kasih atas kesempatan yang telah diberikan kepada saya pada pagi hari ini. Sekali lagi saya ucapkan terima kasih.
Thank you, Ms. Ani Hadinata. And now I would like to invite Mr. Henki Castono, the Country Managing Director of Hewlett Packard Enterprise Indonesia.
Terima kasih atas waktu yang diberikan. Selamat pagi Bapak-Bapak Ibu sekalian. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Perkenalkan, saya Henki Castono, mewakili PT Hewlett Packard Enterprise di Indonesia. Jadi saya hari ini mengucapkan selamat tentunya kepada Bina Nusantara dalam hal melaunching yang namanya R&D untuk yang namanya Artificial Intelligence yang pertama di Indonesia, dan saya dengar juga ini bahkan yang pertama di Southeast Asia. Suatu kebanggaan tentunya kita sebagai bangsa Indonesia, di mana kita harus berperan banyak tentunya dalam teknologi. Ya. Jadi Indonesia itu punya potensi yang sangat besar yang harus dikembangkan, dan tentunya kita berharap bahwa para generasi muda, terutama juga dalam hal ini mahasiswa, tentunya bisa mulai berperan serta dalam mengembangkan teknologi Indonesia, dan peran BINUS dan saya lihat dalam hal ini adalah sangat penting dan sangat membanggakan tentunya kepada bangsa Indonesia. Hewlett Packard Enterprise dalam hal ini juga sangat mendukung kepada yang namanya teknologi ke depannya. Jadi kami sendiri dari Hewlett Packard Enterprise sangat fokus kepada infrastruktur teknologi. Jadi kita bekerja sama dengan para application provider, tentunya seperti NVIDIA, kemudian juga dengan Natika dan sebagainya untuk bisa mengembangkan teknologi ini. Seperti kita tahu yang namanya artificial intelligence ini sangat-sangat membutuhkan compute power yang besar, ya, dan juga tentunya data yang sangat banyak. Itu sebabnya kemudian kami juga banyak memberikan terobosan dengan teknologi-teknologi baru. Tadi Pak Ben sempat menyebabkan bahwa saat ini di R&D ada kita punya server juga Pak ya, itu disebut dengan Gen 9. Nah kemarin itu kita 2 hari lalu baru saja juga melaunching yang namanya Gen 10, jadi generasi terbaru lagi daripada Hewlett Packard server. Nah tentunya dalam hal ini tujuannya tidak lain dan bukan adalah membantu mengembangkan teknologi terutama di area-area yang membutuhkan high computing power. Dan salah satu juga komitmen dari Hewlett Packard Enterprise dalam hal ke arah teknologi, kita juga banyak mengakuisisi beberapa perusahaan-perusahaan yang memang sangat bagus di bidangnya. Salah satunya adalah Silicon Graphics. Jadi Silicon Graphics itu sangat terkenal dengan high performance computing. Sekarang sudah bagian dari Hewlett Packard Enterprise kita juga. Dan khusus untuk teknologi-teknologi artificial intelligence ini, kita juga punya beberapa produk seperti Edgeline. Itu juga kita berkolaborasi dengan NVIDIA, dalam hal ini NVIDIA P4, dan juga yang namanya Apollo 65000. Itu juga bagian dari produk kita yang sangat khusus memang dikembangkan ke arah seperti ini. Bekerjasama juga dengan NVIDIA dengan produk ketiga P100. Ya. Jadi sekali lagi ini terus terang saya sangat bangga dengan perkembangan yang ada, dan BINUS sendiri sebenarnya walaupun saya bukan alumni sini gitu ya, tapi saya mengambil itu sudah lama sekali dari zamannya Ibu Widya dan Pak Wibowo ya, gitu ya. Saya ingat sekali dulu waktu zamannya Binus masih awal, mungkin umur saya udah terlalu ini ya. Jadi saya pernah ketemu dengan Pak Wibowo di dokter, waktu saya ngantri di dokter, beliau itu membagikan brosur tentang Bina Nusantara. Saat itu Bina Nusantara baru saja berdiri, dan saya kagum sama beliau bahwa dia itu every occasion dia mempromosikan Bina Nusantara. Dan tadi dijelaskan dengan Ibu Widya dan juga saat itu juga saya cukup kenal dengan beliau. Jadi saya pikir adalah suatu langkah ke depan yang bagus sekali untuk Bina Nusantara bekerjasama dengan NVIDIA. Sekali lagi saya mengucapkan selamat, mudah-mudahan sukses ke depannya, dan Hewlett Packard Enterprise tentunya tetap komit untuk mendukung perkembangan teknologinya. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Mr. Henki Castono. And now I would like to invite Mr. Raymond Teh, the Vice President for Asia Pacific from NVIDIA, to present his speech.
We're going to start with a video. hopefully my presentation can make up for the bad quality in the video. Okay. Selamat pagi, ibu-ibu, bapak-bapak yang terhormat. Hari ini saya sangat bangga bisa berada di sini. Izinkan saya membuat presentasi saya dalam bahasa Inggeris. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Raymond Tay. I'm the Vice President for Sales and Marketing, Asia Pacific, based in Singapore. It's really a pleasure and honor to come here to really have our first AI symposium in Jakarta. Today I really want to talk a little bit about artificial intelligence, and a few presenters before me, they have very kindly gave very short presentations so that it gives me a little bit more time to explain a little bit more about AI. So I really am very, very grateful to them. The topic of my speech today is really about artificial intelligence. AI is an amazing terminology. AI has been around for over 50 years. But over the last 50 years, we never really felt the power of AI because there wasn't enough big data that is available to enhance the power of AI, and there wasn't a computing platform that can process the data in a very, very fast manner so that AI makes a lot of sense. But since 2012, when a supercomputer with lots of data are able to beat a grandmaster in Go, that is the birth of deep learning and the birth of artificial intelligence. With the deep learning artificial intelligence, we discover a new form of computing. We discover that a deep neural network can be trained with lots of data and with a massively powerful parallel processing called a GPU. We can actually train the computer to think, to learn, to act like a human brain. Today's computer, using deep learning technologies and artificial intelligence, can not only interpret what you would like them to do, they can also talk, they can also perform the actions, and they can also write software without the intervention of human beings. So it's a transformation from computer science to data science. And this is the era in which we live. I have been in the computer industry for over 35 years, and every decade there is a major transformation. In the 90s, you will see the PC internet. You'll find two big companies, Intel and Microsoft. Intel producing a microprocessor called the CPU, the Central Processing Unit, and Microsoft coming up with Wintel, Windows 95. Together, they created a solution that puts the desktop on every workstation in the office, on everybody's front desk. And that has touched almost 1 billion people. Many users are now able to go into the internet and explore things that they haven't done before. Fast forward 10 years in the early 2000s. This is the era of the mobile computing, where Apple with its iPhone and internet boom is able to take the PC revolution to the next level, and it touches billions of people. Fast forward that to another 10 years, which is where we are right now, and this is the age of artificial intelligence. It touches tens or even hundreds of not just people, but devices as well. Because everything we do in our life today will be governed and managed by AI. The way in which we want to have our contents delivered to us, the way in which we inquire and search for new information, the way in which our children talk to each other, the way in which businesses are conducted, is all through AI. And this is a very exciting part, why many people coin AI as the fourth industrial revolution. And this is made possible because I call it the perfect storm. The perfect storm of big data and very fast computing and a platform called GPU coming together to create this whole neural network, which can train the computer to think, behave, and act like a human brain. No longer do you have to see, a dentist has to see 20 patients a day. A dentist can scale to hundreds, thousands, and even millions of advisors by just having the power of AI.
AI is every day in our life. Whether, if you forget where you park your car, you can ask your phone. It's all about speech to text and text to video. You can look at a bag if you are very keen in shopping. You can take a picture of the bag and ask the internet or ask the computer to search for you, where can I buy a similar bag, and what is the price comparison, what is the material specification, etc. And most importantly, you can even ask Netflix to give you the information and the videos that you would like. There are many applications. I have about 300 emails a day. I hope that in the very near future, we can use AI to read through all my emails and give me a one email summary so that I won't have to go through the 300 emails. This is amazing. And I could also ask the AI to help me, for example, to look at all my photos that I have and send the appropriate photos to the right folders, to the right people, without me having to reorganize all the information in that space. So AI touches our lives. But it not only touches our life, it touches the way in which we work as well. AI in industries. AI in industries has many applications. I'll just give you a simple example. A grandmother can actually bridge communication by making sure that he has many different AI assistants by her side. You can talk in different languages to different people around the world, because right now AI can translate any to any languages. AI is able to help a sick baby with a lot of different statistics, can get early detection of any diseases, any problems, and have the right advice and right medication given to him or her. Yeah? And visual computing, NVIDIA builds the solutions for the most difficult and most demanding users. And one of the usages of NVIDIA is visual computing. By having pattern recognition, we're able to have a blind person look at color and spots and brightness of light that can able to help the blind person write or walk or even appreciate images. And this can actually have tremendous application for the blind people as well. AI is touching our industries in many areas. For example, in public safety, we are now talking about safe city and smart city. In safe city, we're talking about surveillance using cameras to give you proactive intelligence to understand anomalies, the suspicious character, and you're able to look at hundreds and thousands of video in milliseconds to understand the connection between a suspicious figure and what his or her action has been done in the last 24, 48 hours. Piece together those information and create some preventive measures for anti-terrorism, for security purposes, for fraud, etc. In the past, all we relied is after the fact. Things that happen, we analyze the data, we find a root cause, and then we react. Through AI and through video transcoding, instantaneous real-time images can be used and data analytics can be deployed to really understand how we can take preventive actions as opposed to reactive actions. And this is a tremendous area, we call it AI City or Metropolis. It's really an end-to-end solution from cameras to the data center to the cloud. We will create billions of data inputs and hundreds of thousands of video analytics to help you analyze and predict safety measures and preventive measures. AI has also many applications in banks, in hotels, where you can have someone, a robot, who greet you and understand what you need and personalize your service such that the AI can help you find exactly what you need. Nowadays, when you go to the bank, you are basically a slave to a number, or you are a slave to a queue. In the new world, when you go in through face recognition, the AI will be able to say, okay, this is a customer who is a very special customer, he's interested in investment, he's interested in this particular type of service, is not interested in other areas. And you can personalize the service right to this customer. You don't have to be a slave to a number or queue anymore. And in many other different areas, you are in healthcare, AI is helping to advance through images and pattern recognition, the early detection of cancer cells, the MRI scans. In transportation, we have autonomous vehicle. In oil and gas, we're helping companies early discoveries of oil without having to spend billions of dollars in drilling. We have many applications in different types of industries. In risk prevention, in understanding how to do predictive analytics, AI is touching every single industry tremendously. And it's time to get started on AI, because in AI, what you need to do is start to learn about GPU and the power of GPU. GPU stands for Graphics Processing Unit. In 2009, NVIDIA invented the GPU. And it is often said that when CPU is the heart of the computer, the GPU is the soul of the computer. Without GPU, we are not able to process massively parallel amount of data to help us in the pursuit of artificial intelligence. CPU alone is too slow, is too cumbersome. Moore's law is now no longer the case. For the last 30 years, the computing industry has been totally dependent on Moore's law, which says that the growth of CPU is going to grow at 50% year on year. Today, if we rely on Moore's law, that's no longer the case. It can probably only grow at 10%. With GPU, which is a massively parallel computing, it can grow at 1,000 times the speed of what a CPU does. And in doing so, the possibilities of our new age, the AI age, emerges. What is not possible before is now possible because of GPU. And what is not possible before, with GPU and with our programming language called CUDA, which we invented in 2006, we're able to take artificial intelligence to a new level. We're able to treat a computer like a human brain. We're able to shape the future of businesses. We're able to shape the future of our lives through artificial intelligence. And that is why it's so exciting that whoever, whatever, and whenever you do, whether it's in your daily lives, whether it's in your professional lives, AI can help extend the enjoyment of your life, extend the fulfillment of your productivity, and AI can help you do things which in the past it is only a dream. So how do we get started on AI? There are many tools that NVIDIA has. NVIDIA is the pioneer in artificial intelligence. We have been a supercomputer before. We were a chip company, we became a platform company, a software company, and we have transformed ourselves very, very quickly to be an AI company. NVIDIA is a perfect example of how our culture and our way of life embodies artificial intelligence. And I want to share some of that with you today. So first of all, we need to have an appreciation what deep learning artificial intelligence is. Deep learning is a very special branch of AI that looks at how we use big data to train the neural network, whether we train them and inference them to our usage. So the best way of getting started with AI is to attend one of our Deep Learning Institute courses. Get an appreciation of what a deep neural network is, of how we can use NVIDIA's GPU and big data to accelerate the learnings of GPU. Secondly, is to be able to try out new models, new frameworks such as TensorFlow, Caffe, CNTK, etc., will help you accelerate the use of AI in whatever field of work you do. In the case of Venus University, in research, accelerating the speed in which research experiments are done. In the past, experiments are done overnight in batches. And you start an experiment, you go home, next morning you come and see whether the experiment finishes. Nowadays, the experiments can be done instantaneously. And as a result, experiments can be shared and discussed among academics all over the world. And as a result of that, improvements in science and technology, improvements in the quality of our life, and improvements in the way in which we take our innovation to the next level. The AI resources that are available for us today we are conducting deep learning courses together with our partners, Tech Data, HPE, Connecticut, and many of our other partners. Please take advantage of our partner network ecosystem to bring AI to Indonesia, to teach the AI concepts, and to embrace the best practices that AI can have around the world. NVIDIA is courting all the startup companies, researchers around the world to provide them with a platform that they can launch new technology and new ways of innovation using AI. We also have a GPU technology conference. We call it the GTC. This is probably the most important AI event that's ever held. NVIDIA does about 6 to 7 GTC conferences around the world. We had one in Santa Clara in April. We will have one in Beijing next month, and one all over the world, in Japan, in Moscow, in Tel Aviv, in Munich, etc. I urge you to attend one of these GPU conferences because technology companies get together, researchers get together, they share best practices, and that's how they can learn from each other. And finally, we have our AI R&D Center, which is the heart of really helping new students and new researchers get onto it. NVIDIA helps to fund some of those R&D centers. We provide technology and expertise and domain expertise to help them. We are growing the developer community, we are growing the technical community to learn about GPU, to learn about AI, so that we are able to help mankind, we help industries really create a much better lives for ourselves. So with that, I really thank you for your time this morning, and I hope that you will have a fantastic afternoon session where we will go much deeper into artificial intelligence. Thank you. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Mr. Raymond. And now for the last speech, I would like to invite Mr. Insinyur Bernard Gunawan, the CEO of Binus University.
Dear distinguished guest, Mr. Raymond Tech, Vice President of Sales and Marketing for the Asia Pacific region at NVIDIA, Ibu Sani Hadidata, as a country GM at Tech Data, and Mr. Henki Kasono, country manager and Managing Director HP Enterprise Indonesia, and Mr. Joseph Lee, Vice President of APEC at Connecticut, respected leaders of our business partner, Bina Nusantara Board of Management, and Venusian leaders, expert speakers, and good morning to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to welcome you all to this magnificent new Artificial Intelligence Research Development Center. Our world today, profused with technology and interconnectedness, present both challenges and tremendous opportunities for the development of inclusive and prosperous societies. Aware of this, Bina Nusantara always strive to create exciting initiatives to support the society in obtaining their skills. This research center is one of the tangible forms of Bina Nusantara vision in fostering and empowering the society in building and serving the nation. At Binus University, we consider collaboration between higher education and industries imperative in reaching this objective, as well as our Binus 2020 vision, a world-class university in continuous pursuit of innovation and enterprise. With our dedication to nurturing the archipelago at Binus University, we especially hope that this initiative will help Indonesian higher education strengthen network locally and globally. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Insinyur Bernard Gunawan. And with that, we will now wrap up the speeches. Thank you once again to all the speakers for the inspiring words of wisdom. We will be continuing with the ribbon cutting ceremony in just a moment, but beforehand, I would like to remind the attendees on today's agenda. So after the ribbon cutting ceremony, there will be a press conference which will be held on the second floor and will only be attended by related parties. In the meantime, the rest of the attendees can go to have lunch in the exhibition hall on the third floor by using either the escalator on my left or the elevator. And following that, there will be a roundtable discussion as mentioned, which will be held on 3:45 p.m. in the same hall on the third floor. And now to proceed with our event, I would like to invite Mr. Insinyur Bernard Gunawan to be accompanied by Ms. Sani Hadinata from Tech Data and Mr. Henki Kastono from HPE to proceed with the ribbon cutting ceremony. Thank you.
Say cheese. One more.
Server kita di sini, servernya, ya servernya. Itu raknya, itu raknya Pak. Dalamnya itu servernya begitu. Ini ada server kita di sini. Dan ini ada juga server yang dari HP juga di tempat di sini. Juga ada server yang dari Windows Pak. Jadi ini kelihatan ini. Satu ruangan.
Glare sih Pak. Glare nggak? Kalau patulan. Sini mana bro? Sini mana? One.
Anything to you, Nick? Of course. Okay. So, yeah. They're also happy today.
I'll give a quick brief, okay, for this. So, this is an example of IVA, Intelligent Video Analytics. Okay. Now, this particular demo is from Google, okay, which is one of the startups part of a reception program out of Malaysia. And those is actually here from Jakarta. So this particular demo is actually identifying faces, and then is trying to analyze the person characteristic to identify the gender, the approximate age, and also our sentiment, okay, our emotion. You know, are we happy? Are we sad? Okay. So what's my age? Yeah, is 20 something, 21. No, actually, no. I just see that they actually, now that I see it, I think it's 21. Yes, 21 and a half. Okay. Actually, it is able to do that, but just for this demo, we decided to switch it off, just in case. But anyway, it can also identify age, the gender, and also many other characteristics. So what is this useful for? Well, the application are really infinite. Number one, what really cool packaged together is something called adaptive advertising. Okay. Now, a lot of people spend a lot of money, and even in places like Jakarta, there are 7 locations for advertising that are very, very expensive. Now, this company that advertise, they really want to make sure that they are getting a return to their investment. So there are two things. Okay. Number one is adaptive advertising, which benefits both the advertiser, okay, and also actually the consumer, the user that might actually look at advertising. Why? Because what happens, we put a little camera near advertising sign, a digital one, and when we pass by, you will see who is passing by and select a suitable advertisement that is relevant to them. Similar to what happens on the web, okay? So at least we make sure that the impression is relevant to the user, okay? And we maximize the revenue and potential revenue out of that particular space. So an example of what a group is able to identify is, of course, the age, which is very important, the gender, the emotional state, right? So for example, if someone is happy, maybe something that is relevant to that. But if someone is not very happy, you don't want to maybe show advertisement balloons, okay? Something else that looks up is it just one person alone? Or is it a couple, male and female, right? Or is it a family with kids? And if there are kids, it will actually show maybe kids advertising, right? If it's a couple, it will show advertising for couples and so on, okay? So this really a very interesting technology. Now, of course, there is many other uses for IVA, and one of the main ones that we tend to see inside the station is, of course, security, which is critical. We have thousands and thousands of cameras all over the place. Unfortunately, you can't rely on people to look at the cameras, right? Honestly, okay? And if I have 10,000 cameras, I can have 10,000 people looking on the screen. So that's really a task that is really meant for computers, for artificial intelligence. Typical example would be that what do we want a camera to see, okay, or the artificial intelligence system to see? Well, it would be the same as what you ask a person, which would be, you know, can you please make sure that you don't see any people that may know if there is anyone with weapons, for example, right? So we can train the neural networks to actually identify all the different type of weapons. Is someone going around with an umbrella, or do they have a parang, you know? Also, for example, behavior, you know, are people just shaking hands or hugging, or perhaps, you know, they're punching, okay? So the even complex behavior can be analyzed, and the neural network can be trained to identify that. Then there is also more complex things. An example is now the MRT will open soon, okay, hopefully. What's really going to be important is that we use this technology also to learn patterns, right? To better plan essentially the transport system, you know, Transjakarta and also the MRT system. By looking at how people move, at what time, counting people, it's very important because it helps us to optimize and make the best and the most out of the transport system. Similarly, also by the security, this system, the good thing is that they learn on their own. I don't really have to tell them. So for example, a system after a few months will learn that at around 9 a.m. I have a lot of people in the MRT going in, okay, a large amount of people. And that's normal for that time of day. But after you learn that, and you learn the patterns, maybe one day we see that at 9 a.m. people start running the opposite direction. Well, that's not normal, and maybe we want to trigger an alert, okay? And then bring the vision, the camera being displayed at the control center, and people will be able to take action after that. So really the possibilities are incredible, both to optimize our services, okay, to provide security, and also to improve products such as advertisement, you know, and so on. So really it's a very interesting technology and it can be applied to many different things. Now, why NVIDIA? Well, it's very simple. The computational amount of power that this technology requires is huge. And it's simply not possible, even with many servers, aside from the cost. If I want to put this behind an advertising sign, I just can't, okay? I can't put a little cluster of servers. That's where GPU comes in. GPU are great at being able to process data and also do other computation, which is very intense. And actually the card inside here is about this small. And it's, at the moment I just checked the utilization, it's only 3.5%. So probably it could process a lot of feeds on a single card, right? Yeah, so that's pretty much, and it's IVA, many other use cases. I could probably spend a few hours telling you about it, but we don't have a lot of time. Any quick question on this? Okay, then perhaps we're going to have a look at Kinetica, which is our next demo, and also we go Joseph, you know, Joseph. Yes, so you can help us. Just be careful on the floor. There's some cable. Now, this is another use of GPUs. In this case, it's the fact that again, the use cases can be so many different types, but there's a problem that nowadays we collect a lot of data everywhere, from IoT, from IT systems, internet, and so on. And we want to essentially extract information out of data. Data alone is not really information, but we want to extract that. And in this case, we have a system that is able to help us to do that for billions of records and billions of data items. Now, usually we can do this today, but it takes us a lot of space really to store them, but also a lot of computing resources. And often people that use this system, they say, okay, I'll do a query to find the data that I need from my database, I will send the query, and then tomorrow morning, I will see the result. Now, unfortunately, for many, many things I have to do every day, we can't wait 4 hours, 6 hours to be able to get the result. We need to have it instantly, okay? And also to essentially improve our productivity. Now, in this particular case, we have Kinetica, a GPU that actually runs inside GPUs. Why? Because GPUs are fast. They have a lot of little cores that can do the processing in parallel, but they also have very, very fast memory, okay? Our latest GPU is 900 gigabytes per second, the speed of the memory, okay? Well, you know, the speed of that is probably 10 to 20 times, depending on the type of memory you're talking about, faster than what you can get in a normal system. So in this case, we have a dashboard, and the data set is coming from Twitter. Pretty much live. There's a little delay, but it's actually coming live. It's been ingested. Now, let's go and drill down. And again, this is from all over the world, right? But we are going to, of course, focus on Jakarta. Now, when I'm zooming in, it takes maybe 1 or 2 seconds because it's running off the cloud. But remember, while it's doing that, it's actually doing it real time, and it just queried 4 billion records. 4 billion records. So yes, it took like 1.5 seconds out of 4 billion records. People wait nearly 1 hour, if not more, to be able to do this kind of query in the normal world. So now we have Jakarta, and what we might want to do, well, we have the whole of Twitter. What are we going to use this Twitter data for? Well, maybe I want to, if I'm a company, I might want to see, you know, who's mentioning my brand, okay? So brand awareness. And also, if they mention my brand, I might want to see what they're saying about it, okay? So these are very important type of analytics. So let me try to select a specific area. So I can actually just really choose even specific areas for Jakarta if I want. Now, I'm just going to run a little polygon, draw it. And this is going to select only the Twitter coming from that particular area. Again, it did this out of 4 billion records in less than 2 seconds, okay? Now I've got here all my data on the number of Twitter that were made and so on. And I can even search, for example, well, let's see what people are saying about Venus. Is it okay if I visit Venus? Now, this will, of course, be, oh, it was already long. Okay, I thought it would take longer, it didn't. Okay, so it found actually about 30,000 plus Twitters that were mentioning Venus, okay? And I can actually just click, and I just click, and I can just see the tweets, okay? Let me just click on one. You see? So I'm setting them randomly, but you know, so I don't know what they're gonna say. As you can see, I can just look, and of course, you know, my typical task will not really be to look them one by one. But what I can do is, I, for example, can use a sentiment analysis tool. In this case, I see 0, 1, and -1. 0 means it's neutral, but what I can do, and I don't think the system has been, you know, enabled for Bahasa yet, is I can actually collect a group of words or adjectives that can be considered very positive, or normal, or neutral, and also negative. And then I can actually run the report and see, you know, even real time, are people talking, you know, well, you know, and especially after press conferences or regarding stock and so on. This is a very typical type of analysis. A lot of trading companies, they actually use this because they want to see, you know, how the sentiment is, and also use this data to be able to make decision when it comes to trading. Okay? So this provides us the sentiment, and then we can look historically how they work. And here we even have real time. We can also, in theory, look at real time the ingestion. And then I can just click, and it will just drill down. So you just really click and drill down. Something that is very, very easy, and really, anyone can do it. You don't have to be an expert analyst to use this tool. You can really give the power of creating large volume of records to literally everyone, as long as you know you build this type of dashboards. Now, the typical use that we tend to see, of course, for the Twitter one, as I said, is really brand sentiment. Okay, of course, this can be used for any type of records when you have high volume of record. I think there's many telecom companies also in Indonesia which are very interested in this. They want to really analyze the rate of their usage to be able to create new products which are competitive, and also to understand when customer leave, we have customer churn, how to be able to avoid that by really understand the pattern of usage. Of course, there are things like security. for which you might want to analyze also Twitter, social media, or perhaps the movement of people. If, for security and terrorists, sometimes they want to track their phone and they want to know real time where they are, and they have to take the data from thousands and thousands of cell masts. And then we also have health records, okay? We might want to do research, and we might want to take health records from, we have 250 million people in Indonesia, something like that, right? So we maybe want to collect the health record of millions of people and be able to identify patterns, right? And sometimes they also use this in correlation with genetic data to be able, for example, to identify specific type of challenges that can be regional, right? Can be specific tribes and so on. They be able to identify this by looking at historical data in their health record combined with genomic data. So pretty much this is the tool which is able to give you the power to collect large volume of data, keep all of the data. In the past, people had to throw away some of the data because they couldn't query for million records. They had to decide what to keep and what to leave. When you leave something, inevitably you're going to lose some of the information. Okay, the accuracy will lower. Now you no longer have to do that. You can keep all of it, and at the same time you can query real time by just clicking around, not waiting minutes, hours, or days sometimes, and be able to extract very valuable information out of any data set. So for me, between IVA and also the Kinetica in GPU memory database, these are the type of tools that, in particular for Indonesia, they're of course used all over the world, can really make a difference. Out of the fact that you have millions and millions of people, which equals very large amount of data. And also for security, Jakarta is huge. You want to maintain safety, you also want maybe to check the traffic, enforce traffic regulation, and also IVA is able really to help you with that. So I think these are two key tools which couldn't happen without GPUs. You also mentioned during his talk that the fact that this was developed on top of GPU. I don't think if there were no GPU, this project would actually went ahead. So the GPU was actually the key factor in developing this software. And IVA is the same, people have not been able really to deploy this until there were suitable engines such as GPU to be able to do it, okay? That's why we're a platform company, an AI platform company. We have not developed Kinetica, we have not developed IVA, but we developed the underlying technology, not just hardware, but also software that enables these companies to quickly, and I want to underline quickly, develop a new application to be able to serve everyone. Okay, so thank you very much, and if there's any question, myself, also with Joe here, we can try to answer. Yes, okay.
Thanks for the explanation. I'm from Ministry of Agriculture.
Okay.
And Indonesia is a huge country, especially in the agricultural sector as well, which is one of our strategic sector. My question is, can you tell me what is typical application of this tool for the agricultural sector?
Absolutely. So for agriculture, it's very, very interesting, and I think that I'm not sure, maybe this afternoon we're also going to have a bit of this, right? Yeah. But let me give a little bit of a taster. I think in particular neural networks can really be a life changer, I would say, a game changer, also a life changer for a country like Indonesia that has relies a lot on yield and agriculture and crops, right? So a few examples where we can apply it today. We have a company called Blue Water. Okay, Blue Water. Is being able to use artificial intelligence to actually put a camera, and when they actually apply fertilizer, they only apply it in the right spot, not all over the place, because we can see where the plant is. And same for pesticide. Now, what are the benefits? Well, number one, you save money because you use less fertilizer and less, if you have to use any pesticide, less pesticide. And also, that is going to benefit the environment, right? Because if you use them less and also they're more targeted, you're going to have less, for example, fertilizer runoff, which is a very big challenge to the environment, and of course the contamination of the aquifer, right? So that's one. So it saves you money, improves yields, and also protects the environment, which is great. Other examples are to do, for example, the processing of satellite imaging, right? When you have the luge plantations, you can actually have very high resolution imaging through the satellite and be able to use that to actually do planning. I know that in Borneo, for example, they were using that to try to differentiate between natural lines and, for example, illegal logging. okay? And actually we're able to identify the hidden loggers' routes that they create, the roads really, inside the plantation, and be able to go there and stop them. Another example that I've been thinking about is drones, okay? In US they develop a drone with a little Tegra GPU, very, very powerful, 1.5 teraflops, only 7 watt. You can put it on top of a drone, and you can train this drone to actually navigate inside a plantation, because it's able to understand, for example, the oil palm, where it is, and not go against it, right? So you can independently go around, and you can train it to do what a person would do. For example, look, tell me the location where the fruit is ripe, okay, and where it's not ripe, and be able to grade them so that you can have a heat map. Another example is, tell me where you see and identify specific diseases. You can train the neural network to identify specific pests and diseases, and again, try to identify where this might apply, and again, be more targeted in the way you do it. This should both increase yield while minimizing cost, and of course, the impact on the environment and the use of, for example, fertilizer or pesticide. I think these are a couple of examples. Probably, once again, the sky's the limit, because the good thing about neural networks is that you can train them literally to do whatever you want, okay? If I train you to recognize disease by looking at a leaf, I can train a neural network to do that, okay? And then, especially for jobs that can be more dangerous for people, right? You can instead have, for example, robots, drones, or satellite imaging to help you to tackle that. So I do think for agriculture, artificial intelligence would be really a life changer, a game changer for Indonesia. And
so in addition to what I could say, also artificial intelligence in agriculture can be used for optimize air quality and water content to maximize the yield of crops. And you can use our pattern recognition through research in agriculture to look at the best yield and best production. So you, like Nicholas said, you can actually save more money, use less resources, and actually improve the quality of your yield. And actually save a lot of manpower. The list goes on and on. So we can actually go and help you.
To train the system of tools, what do you need to provide?
Very simple. To train a neural network, what you need is data. If you have data, for example, I want to train a neural network to recognize a particular disease that I can see from the leaf of a plant, all I need is a few hundreds. The more you have, the better. I have to have many, many pictures of different examples of the leaf with the disease and labeled as disease, okay? And many pictures of the leaf, healthy leaf, labeled as healthy. If you have enough of both types of data, you can train it. And I can assure you that if you come tomorrow, for example, at our Deep Learning Institute session, by the end of the day, you don't need to have any IT background. You could be able to train neural network yourself. Yeah, this is no joke. Deep learning does not require a ton of background knowledge. We've created tools in NVIDIA, such as Digits, that can enable anyone to train neural network to do a task, like just clicking around. You don't have to write even one line of code. So I hope you can come tomorrow and we'll show you how to do it.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Any more questions? This afternoon we're going to have the AI symposium, so there's going to be a lot more talk about all these type of solutions and what they can achieve in general, and also in particular the applications specific to Indonesia and Jakarta. So I hope many of you can remain back to that. Thank you.
Ya, saya zamannya Imam Jayuno, Mas Wiaryanto, saya dari STM Pak Imam lagi rekan juga.
Oh, Pak Iman ya.
Dulu cici saya juga di sini Pak, Rika Hadinata Pak, dosen. Sekarang di US. Saya